The machine is designed to handle the specific dimensions of the banknotes. Combination of letters and numbers is applied using the letterpress printing technique. Each banknote is unique and clearly identifiable.
Okay, so picture this. You're getting ready for the holidays, checking your bank account after that grocery store trip, and suddenly you see an extra deposit. But here's the thing. It's not a holiday bonus.
Right.
It's actually your Social Security, or well, more specifically, your Supplemental Security Income, SSI,
Right.
showing up early.
Interesting.
Yeah. So today we're going to dive deep into this unusual situation.
Okay.
We'll unpack why some people are getting 2 SSI payments in November
Okay.
and what this means for your wallet.
Yeah, you're right. It's not every day you see government benefits arriving early.
Right.
This is a really interesting case study in how these systems work and the kind of budgeting curveballs they can throw sometimes.
Exactly. So to get us all on the same page, can you give us a quick refresher on what makes SSI different from regular Social Security?
Absolutely. Think of it this way. Social Security is like a retirement plan that you pay into throughout your working years.
Right.
SSI, on the other hand, is designed as a safety net for those who need it most. It's for people with very limited income and resources, regardless of their work history.
Gotcha.
We're often talking about folks who are 65 or older, or individuals living with disabilities.
Right. So for those who rely on SSI, they usually get that payment on the first business day of each month, correct?
Exactly. And that's where this whole double payment situation comes in.
Okay.
This November, the first business day is business as usual.
Right.
But here's the twist. December 1st just happens to fall on a Sunday this year.
Ah, okay. So that pushes the December payment back.
You got it.
Yeah.
It gets bumped all the way to Friday, November 29th, which happens to be the last business day of November.
So instead of one payment at the beginning of December, those receiving SSI are getting both their November and December payments in November?
Yes.
Now, this isn't the first time something like this has happened, right?
You're sharpen. This same situation actually played out back in August.
Really?
Yeah, some people suddenly received their August and September SSI payments together.
Wow.
I'm sure it was a surprise. And probably caused a bit of confusion for those who weren't expecting it.
Especially for anyone used to budgeting down to the wire.
Right.
Getting 2 payments at once might feel like a windfall.
Sure.
But then you realize the next month's payment isn't coming when you usually expect it.
Right.
It can really throw a wrench in your plans.
Exactly. This kind of unpredictability underscores just how essential it is to not just understand how your benefits work,
Yeah.
but also to have a financial game plan in place.
Couldn't agree more. Now, I heard a little birdie tell me that 2025 is going to be even more interesting calendar-wise. Is there any truth to that rumor?
Oh, that's no rumor, my friend. 2025 is shaping up to be a real roller coaster when it comes to SSI payments.
Oh, boy.
Buckle up, because we're talking not 1, not 2, but 3 months, where the first falls on a weekend or holiday.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Okay.
Walk me through this. Which months are we talking about, and how will it impact those SSI checks?
All right, let's break it down. First up, we've got January 1st, which lands on a Wednesday. But since that's a holiday, payments will be sent out on
December 31st. Wow, people are going to be getting their January checks in December. That's wild.
You're telling me, no, hold on to your hats for February.
Okay.
We've got February 1st falling on a Saturday. So that payment will actually go out on...
Let me guess, January 31st, back-to-back months where people are essentially getting their checks a month early.
You're 2 for 2.
Wow.
Now, the grand finale, March 1st,
Okay.
that falls on a Saturday, so with the weekend, and all payments will be distributed on February 28th. But wait, there's a catch.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's the catch?
Since March's payment is going out in February, that means...
But wait a minute, there's no payment at all in March.
Bingo. You've officially cracked the 2025 SSI payment schedule code.
Wow, that is going to be a challenging year for folks who rely on those benefits.
Absolutely. And it gets even more complicated because May will also see a double payment followed by no payment in June.
Okay, so we've got double payments, missing payments, payments coming in early. It sounds like folks who rely on SSI will really need to pay close attention to their finances in 2025. What can people do to prepare for this?
That is the million-dollar question and a perfect segue into our next segment.
Okay.
Because while knowing the when of these payments is important, it's equally important to understand the how of managing those funds effectively, especially with these unusual fluctuations.
You read my mind. Up next, we'll explore some smart budgeting strategies and resources that can help listeners navigate these payment schedule changes. Stay with us. So we've talked about these SSI payment date shifts, and let's be real, a lot of folks are living paycheck to paycheck, whether it's that one check a month or not.
Right.
These changes could really throw a wrench in things.
Absolutely. That's why having a solid budget is like having a financial roadmap, especially when you're navigating unexpected detours, like an extra payment one month and then a gap the next.
Totally. It's like that saying, expect the unexpected, but with your money. So where do we even begin? What are some practical budgeting strategies for people who might be facing these unusual payment schedules?
Well, first off, knowledge is power. Understanding exactly when to expect those SSI payments is crucial. Mark those dates down in a calendar. Set reminders on your phone, whatever works best for you.
Right, because just assuming it'll be the usual first of the month could lead to some serious overdraft fees.
Exactly. Now, when that double payment does come in, it can be tempting to think, woohoo, let's splurge. But this is where that financial roadmap comes in handy.
So resist the urge to book that impromptu vacation.
Well, a little fun money never hurt anyone, but you're on the right track. The key is to treat that double payment like what it is 2 months of benefits combined into one.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So practically speaking, what does that look like? Should people divide that payment in half and set aside the other half for the following month?
That's one approach, and it's a great starting point for many. Another option is to create a detailed budget that allocates those funds across the 2 months, ensuring all your essential expenses are covered.
Okay. I like that breaking it down by those must-haves like rent, utilities, groceries, and then seeing what's left. Are there any resources out there for folks who might need some extra help with budgeting or financial planning?
Absolutely. There are some fantastic resources available, many of them free. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling, NFCC, for instance, offers free and confidential financial counseling and education.
That's a great tip. And I know a lot of people rely on apps and online tools these days to manage their money. Any recommendations on that front?
There are tons of budgeting apps out there, but some popular options include Mint, YME, you need a budget, and Every Dollar. Many banks and credit unions also offer free budgeting tools within their online banking platforms.
So lots of options depending on your preferences and comfort level with technology. Now, speaking of financial resources, I know there are situations where someone might need additional support beyond SSI. What are some avenues people can explore if they're struggling to make ends meet?
That's a really important point. SSI is designed to provide a safety net, but it's not always enough to cover every expense. Fortunately, there are other programs available such as SNP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for Food Assistance, or LIHAP, Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, to help with energy bills.
It's like a safety net within a safety net.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on from SSI, I think it's important to remember that not everyone receiving Social Security benefits is on SSI.
That's right, and this is where we should clarify the difference between SSI and regular Social Security retirement benefits.
Excellent point. Let's break it down. What do folks who receive regular Social Security, those who paid into the system throughout their working years, need to know about these payment date changes? So to be crystal clear for anyone listening who receives regular Social Security retirement benefits, these SSI payment date changes in November in 2025 don't apply to you, right?
Exactly. If you're receiving regular Social Security, you can expect your payments to arrive right on schedule.
Okay, good to know.
However, there is something that does affect everyone receiving Social Security benefits, whether it's regular retirement benefits or SSI.
You're talking about the cost of living adjustment, or CLA, right?
You got it.
Didn't we see a CLA increase this year?
We did indeed. Every year, the Social Security Administration adjusts benefit payments
Right.
based on the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation.
Right.
This year, the CLA is 2.5%.
Okay, so that means everyone on Social Security, including those receiving SSI, will see their benefit checks go up by 2.5% starting in January.
That's correct.
Okay.
Now, while any increase is generally welcomed, it's important to keep in mind that last year's CLA was 3.2%.
Okay.
So this year's adjustment is a bit smaller.
And that's a big deal for people who rely on these benefits to cover their essential expenses, especially with prices continuing to rise on everything from groceries to gas.
You hit the nail on the head. The intention behind TLA is to help beneficiaries keep pace with inflation.
Right.
But whether a 2.5% increase is truly enough to maintain that buying power is a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how that 2.5% is even calculated and what it's really based on.
It's a complex formula,
Yes.
but essentially it boils down to how much consumer prices have increased over the past year.
Okay.
The challenge is that those price increases aren't always evenly distributed across the things we need most.
Right, like you were saying about groceries and gas.
Yeah.
Those prices seem to be on a constant upswing.
Exactly.
We could really do a whole deep dive just on CLA and its impact on people's lives.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
in fact, we will. In an upcoming episode, we'll dissect TLA, explore how it's calculated,
Oh, great.
and dive into whether it's truly keeping pace with the real cost of living for those who rely on it most.
Can't wait for that one. But for now, let's bring it back to today's deep dive.
Sure.
What are some key takeaways our listeners should remember, especially those who might be impacted by those SSI payment date changes?
Well, first and foremost, if you receive SSI, get those calendars marked. Knowing when to expect your payments is crucial for effective budgeting.
Right.
Remember, November brings 2 payments, but then comes those gaps in March and June of 2025.
And whether you're on SSI or regular Social Security, creating a solid budget and exploring additional financial resources if needed can make all the difference in navigating those payment shifts.
Absolutely. This whole situation really underscores the importance of being financially savvy, understanding your benefits, and having a plan.
Knowledge is power, as they say.
Uh-huh.
And on that note, I think we've done our part to empower our listeners with some valuable information today.
I agree.
Thank you so much for breaking all of this down for us.
My pleasure. It's always a pleasure to dive deep into these important topics.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this financial journey. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay ahead of the curve with your finances.